You are an assassin. Better yet, you are a master assassin. Your reputation precedes you. You get to control assassins miles and miles from your hometown, just because how good you are. You have killed and will kill multiple high-profile targets. The city gets a new life because of you. Mercenaries are at your command. Thieves help you, and Romanes satisfy you and also help you. You can take back control city districts by yourself, and when the Templars come to take it back, you do it in a tower defense minigame. Yeah, it's bad. Hey guys, my name is Falric, and I'm a game developer, and I have played Assassin's Creed Revelations and Rogue recently, and I've been thinking why the den defense minigame in Revelations was so bad, so disconnected from the game, and so uninspiring. And I also played Rogue, which was better in some ways, but also had some bad things regarding side activities. And I started to think, what's a good criteria for a good side activity in an open world game? I started researching, and there's only a handful of results that mention side activities, let alone give a good blueprint or guidelines in any way. And I thought, why not just do that in this video? And by the help of Reddit, research, and immense thinking, I'm gonna give some examples and dissect them to the best of my abilities, and at the end we will try to have a blueprint by the end of this video. And before we begin, I recently started my YouTube channel, and be sure to subscribe to see more videos like this. It's pretty good content if I say so myself, and click that bell to get notifications. And let's begin. So at first I bashed the den defense in Revelations, and my first point was that it was so disconnected from the rest of the game, and also disconnected from the theme of the assassins and how they do things. The assassins through the games have been this very low profile group that are meddling in political conflicts and have played important but key roles in the games for most of the time. An open conflict is not their go-to way unless it's forced upon them. Well, that is true for the den defenses, but the way that it was handled in this game was so uninspiring. The first game in the series, it was a very big deal that Masyaf remained a peaceful place, and Altair was severely punished for bringing the enemy to their doorstep, but at the same time was handled much better and showed how resourceful assassins are. Yeah, I know the real world and the tactics and all that, but it's a game. What do you expect? But here, oh no, Templars are attacking. Station yourselves on rooftops and shoot at them. And it's so painful since they showed they can do better than this, and they have good tools to implement missions for this type of situations. It could have been the assassins are keeping watch and hearing rumors that Templars are preparing to attack, or an attack is imminent. Maybe Templars are gathering resources, bribing off guards at a specific time for their attack. And assassins being assassins trying to stop it before the den defense actually happens. And Ezio, by an extension, you the player can actually make some choices. Use one of the 3 guilds that the game has and try to mess with them, or better yet, use your assassins with the option of playing those missions as an assassin. Which is a shame since the missions that you send your assassins to on that side little management game is basically what I told you. The system is there, just needs to be implemented in the game. But no, Templars are coming and you must heed. It's not forced or anything. But when the Templars are attacking, you can't interact with the buildings in that area, you can't renovate anything, and the area is filled with Templars. And when you want to get rid of it, you have to sit through 2 loading screens and a den defense that you can shut your brain off and just summon gunmen or crossbowmen, and sometimes fire cannonballs, which could be good in its own right if it was a game on its own that added depth and actually tried to do something, but this is just a waste of time. And you fail at den defense, which is impossible. You have to not pay attention if you want to fail. The punishment is that you can repeat the capturing of that den. And what's the reward for all of this? Some money and some experience for your assassins, and more units for the den defense, which is useless. Just spam gunmen and crossbowmen. Contrast that to the whole ship mechanics introduced in Black Flag and later Rogue, which is basically Black Flag with added content and features. It's much better in some ways. In those games, the protagonist is not doing anything out of the ordinary. Yes, the ship stuff is completely new, but for an assassin at the golden age of piracy, is very thematic. You can attack merchant ships for money or man-o'-wars just for the fun of the challenge. Then you can board them, and then more options for you. You can get more crew for your ship, or salvage the ship for money, or use the remains to repair your ship if it was damaged. And the same type of dynamic content is here as well. The Notorious system, which in Revelations triggered those din defenses, is here as well. When reached up to a certain point after causing trouble in the seas, will guarantee you bounty hunters chasing you, but it's far better in this game. First, I think, is that the activity is so enjoyable even if a superpowered man-o-war chasing you and attacking you is not so bad, because they're here because you were causing mayhem. The game is like, oh, you like it. Here you go. And by the way, it's very easy to get out of that situation, just full speed in another direction and you're off. And a big plus in Rogue is that enemy ships can board your ship now. If you're not careful around bounty hunters, they will ram your ship so hard that it triggers a boarding on your ship. And you have a fight on your hand. And I actually sometimes preferred this method because my ship wasn't so strong at the time. The whole thing is also much better because the activities complement your overall journey, and the rewards, which is mostly money, can be spent on upgrades on your ship, which gives a much better sense of progression than the new units in the den defense. Also, there are super challenges that you can partake. Both Rogue and Black Flag have these legendary battles that requires an almost fully upgraded ship and challenge your abilities during them, while Revelations is just dynamic content for the sake of wasting time. I asked on Reddit what's your favorite side activity in the Assassin's Creed games are, and one of the best responses I've got is this one. They love den defenses because it allowed them to recapture that den, and that was their favorite activities, the controlling the districts. Well, I guess that's a plus for the den defenses. The other thing I wanted to mention is the treasure maps and Templar maps in Black Flag and Rogue. Both of them has these maps that you can find throughout the world. They are marked on the minimap and solve the puzzles. You find a coordinate that is on the map and the landscape is painted onto the map. And you have to find a treasure that is buried on the mark, which is probably one of the most established pirate fantasies out there and implemented in a far better way of just a mark on your minimap, which many games do these days. But in one game it's implemented perfectly and the other poorly. Take a guess on which one was better. And the answer is Black Flag. Each treasure you dig up contains money and plans or recipe, for lack of a better word, for upgrades for your ship. But in Rogue, after collecting the first treasure, instead of instant rewards, you're faced with this lovely message, which is painful. There are more than 20 Templar maps, and to motivate the player, for me at least in this way, caused me to completely abandon it. And before writing the script for this video, I didn't know what the reward was until I looked it up. And man, I would be mad if I did them just for an outfit that I despise. The gradual, meaningful rewards are far better than this pile of garbage, or just no rewards at all. The sheer fun of side activities is kind of dead in modern games, leaving them without any rewards. And one of the most answered one in the Reddit post was the glyphs from Assassin's Creed 2, which were just puzzles, and the reward was just a cinematic or some trivial knowledge about the conflict and the struggles of assassins and Templars against each other, which didn't affect the gameplay at all. And my question for you guys is that should I play Syndicate or Unity? The music boxes and the gang warfare from Syndicate and murder mysteries or dreadful crimes came up in the Reddit post multiple times, and I'm kind of interested. By the way, hit that like and subscribe button since you watched the video till now. Please do me a solid. However, I want to mention that for glyphs, if you like them, you had to go through the story so you can visit other towns to find other glyphs as well. I can't think of anything like this in Assassin's Creed right now. If you know some examples, comment down below. But in other games, I have seen or heard of side activities that feel tacked on in the game, but people liked it so much. Good example of this is Gwent in Witcher 3, which is a card game in the game before it got its own game. But the progression is tied to the exploration or side quests in the game itself. And in Fallout 4, you have base building and you can have settlements. And maintaining the settlement, well, not being my cup of tea, but I've seen many people like it. And the modding community did also go nuts in that. But interestingly enough, it was a good use of craft that you loot in the world. So with my video coming to an end, let's make our blueprints for side activities, the first version at least. First is that side activities should be fun. Well, duh. The side activities are there to complement the open world game or provide some rest for the game before the fatigue of gameplay loop or repetition boredom kicks in. So yeah, it should not be dull and it should be fun. Secondly is that the rewards are preferred to be gradual or instant. instead of big milestones, since that can make the activity feel like a chore more quickly. Or just let it be there and trust that the fun it provides is enough motivation for the players to go through them. Third is that other than the tutorial, don't force it, or don't even annoy the player with it. Side activities are hit and miss. Give them the option to ignore it if they want to. And lastly, if it's disconnected from the game, somehow attach the progression to the main story, or just play the game like the last example in Fallout 4. Whatever you loot in the main story, you can use them in that side activity. And I think that's a good point for a side activity. And that was my video. If you liked it, subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, like it. If you want to see how Assassin's Creed changed over the years and the effect or design principles of Prince of Persia, which was the basis of the first Assassin's Creed, waned over the years, please check out my last video. And with that, I think just end the video, I guess, and bye-bye.